She's from Tondo.
Ayan, sir. Sa may gagalangin.
Outstanding contribution to nation building will always be remembered. Born in 1932 to Norberto and Victoria T. Tanner, Dr. T was destined not only to become a successful businessman, but also as a humanitarian figure someday. Reared in the Spartan conservative environment of hard-working parents, he found himself running the Wellington Flour Mills, where young George would gain experience. It was during the course of transacting with banks to secure a loan for the family enterprise that he became interested to go into banking. At the age of 29, he founded the Metropolitan Bank and Trust Company. Since then, the bank has grown to become a premier universal bank and among one of the country's financial conglomerates. The young man's seemingly simple desire to make money so I can give money had become a lifelong commitment. Today, the values left behind by Dr. T remain true to every Metro banker's heart. Passion for excellence, integrity, teamwork, customer service, heart for community. You're in good hands remains one of his lasting legacies. More than a founder, he is legendary. Dr. George S.K.T., a visionary business leader, champion of excellence and integrity.
I'd like to welcome and acknowledge our guest of honor, Mayor Isko Moreno. Sir. Let me continue. Dr. T once said, and I quote, "Sharing is the clearest manifestation of gratitude. It is a message of thanks spoken in the deepest language of the human heart." Unquote. It is with this generosity that Dr. T founded Metrobank Foundation in 1979, 16 years after he built Metrobank in 1962. It is the foundation responsible for acknowledging the efforts of our heroes in the academe, the military and the police force through its search for outstanding Filipinos. In fact, you will see the images and the banners of our awardees, which we will confer tonight, their award and recognition. It is the same foundation, together with partners like yourselves, that is responsible for giving teachers proper recognition to its nationwide celebration of the National Teachers Month, which starts tomorrow, September 5. Of course, MBFI is the same foundation that has been recognizing the talent and hard work of young Filipino artists since 1984 through the Metrobank Art and Design Excellence, or MADE. Aside from these programs, MBFI also contributes to development through grants in the areas of health, education, arts, and livelihood, or HEAL. Contributions to these areas, along with the aforementioned notable programs, are testaments to Dr. T's generosity of spirit. Mr. Arthur T., his eldest son, said it best in his message during our 40th anniversary as a foundation, and I quote, "The work we do at the foundation is a reflection of Dr. T's enduring legacy to make a difference in the lives of the citizenry and contribute to nation building." Unquote. Anyone who has achieved this much and spend the rest of his days enjoying his blessings, finding comfort in the idea that he has contributed back to society just as much. But just like this year's Foundation Anniversary theme, Puso at Sigasig, Dr. George T. has heart and zeal that refuse to rest, knowing that there is always room for growth and knowing he can help more. Not known to many, Dr. T has put up his family foundation, the GT Foundation, GTFI. Since its inception back in October 2009, the foundation has silently pursued the philanthropic activities of the T family in the areas of health, environment, and education. Taken together, these grants' priority areas result in the acronym HEED, which is very fitting as GTFI aims to respond to the needs of the underprivileged and hope to pave ways for a better and brighter future. In addition to grants, GTFI also supports projects that perpetuate the legacy of the T family, primarily through the infrastructure development. These projects cut across the foundation's priority areas, helping fund the construction and equipping of school buildings, classrooms, laboratories, and the like for education, and barangay health stations and maternity waiting homes for health. A few years back, when asked to talk about his accomplishments with respect to putting up a bank at a very young age of 29, with hardly any experience in the industry, Dr. T compared himself to an ant that moves a mountain. He said, and I quote, "We have stories in Chinese about an ant that moves a mountain. Actually, it is not just one ant. It's a group, thousands of ants that move the mountain. In my particular case, I was just one small ant," unquote. The analogy Dr. T made himself, however, was to the spirit of a singular ant. I have a spirit of an ant. Ants work together. They never give up. I have very good people, and we are working together to move more mountains. Throughout his journey to success, Dr. T found partners who also shared the vision for nation building. Among them was the late President Corazon Cojuangco Aquino, who served as Metrobank Foundation's chairman of the Board of Advisors from the time she stepped down from the presidency in 1992. Specifically remember today our beloved Tita Cory, whose 10th death anniversary the nation just commemorated last August. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the very essence of today's event, partnerships. As our two foundations mature, MBFI and GTFI shall explore ways to make our projects more strategic in generating the desired impacts. We want to be able to determine if our efforts in fact contribute to nation building and in what way. In order to do this, we will work with you. We will rely on you, our partners and stakeholders. If we are to succeed, we need your commitment, not just to carry out project deliverables and targets, but to provide relevant solutions to stakeholder needs, to assess the undertaking, and to make sure that the next project is one that is even more impactful and meaningful. As we propagate a culture of excellence, we need partners like you who share the same mindset. In today's ceremonies, therefore, allow us to express our trust in your capabilities in turning our shared vision into reality. And at this juncture, in celebration of our anniversary, I am pleased to announce that the combined amount of grants that will be pledged and released today amounts to 35 million pesos. With these directions, Dr. T will surely find peace, knowing that the values he championed endure and his legacy lives on, thanks to our concerted efforts. Welcome to the 2019 Anniversary Grants Turnover Ceremony in celebration of Metrobank's 57th anniversary. Thank you very much and have a pleasant morning.
Maliwanag na Bukas is GT Foundation's flagship program where we provide reading glasses for the elderly and prescription glasses for public elementary students.
May magagawa naman ako. And kaya ko naman tumulong upang mabago naman ang mundo.
Young people, we have like a different perspective, therefore that we have different solutions than others.
To change the future, we start with the individual. When young people are skilled, they can change the course of their life.
Dahil sa aking pagtanggap ng pag-blessing, gusto ko rin pong mag-share ng blessings para sa iba.
This present generation has become more active in worthwhile causes. Volunteerism has become part of their lives. We are happy to provide them with an avenue to exercise volunteerism through bands of blessing.
While the GT Foundation was partly established to perpetuate the legacy of George T., our father and founder of the foundation, it has a wider purpose, that of pursuing the philanthropic initiatives of the family. Moving forward, there will be changes, whereas the focus now has always been on health and education. We deem that it will be necessary to also add among our advocacies protection of environment and innovation and technology. The focus on technology and innovation is new, but still it's within the overall vision of helping to build a society that is composed of healthy, educated, and skilled workforce.
And we start caring, and we'll start to grow, to improve, get to the future we want to be in. We have to care.
To kick off the grants turnover ceremony, we shall begin with the first batch of 9 development organizations which will receive grants from the GT Foundation. We would like to call to the platform GT Foundation Senior Vice President and Metrobank Foundation Trustee, Mrs. Anjanette T. Dibuncio, GT Foundation and Metrobank Foundation Vice President and Corporate Secretary, Mrs. Alessandra T. and Mr. Sobrepeña. The first 5 GT Foundation grants are on education. The first recipient of this grant is the Don Bosco Academy of Pampanga. The foundation will provide students with computer facilities in order to equip them with basic and work-related computer operations. To receive the foundation's pledge is its rector, Father Jose Armando Cortez, of the Salesians of Don Bosco. The next to receive the GT Foundation grant is Habihan School. The scholarship grant will sponsor the technical vocational education and training of 15 financially challenged women ages 16 to 24 years old. To receive the grant is Ms. Irma Vergara, President, Patron Association. is MFI Polytechnic Institute. The GTFI Scholarship Grant will support 25 financially challenged students in industrial automation technology. To receive the grant is its president, Mr. Jose Sandejas. The next grant is for Toyota Motor Philippines School of Technology. The GT Foundation grant will provide 20 financially challenged students with full and bridging scholarships for a 2-year general job automotive servicing course at TMP Tech. To receive the grant is Mr. Jose Maria Aligada, Executive Officer of TMP Tech. Our next GT Foundation pledge of donation is for Xavier University Ateneo de Cagayan. The grant will provide residential scholarships to 10 senior high school students under the technical vocational track of the K-12 program. To receive the grant is its president, Father Roberto Yap of the Society of Jesus. The next 3 GT Foundation grants are on health. The first recipient of our health grant is Cure Philippines Incorporated. GT Foundation will sponsor the surgery and rehabilitation of 90 children with correctable physical deformities in Davao City. To receive the grant is Mr. Vincent Bitana, Cure Philippines Development and Sustainability Manager. The next grantee is the Manila Doctors Hospital. The GTFI grant will support the hospital's inpatient and outpatient surgical and medical missions and medical services. To receive the grant is the President of MDH, Ms. Elizabeth G. Dantes. Our last health grantee is Plan International Inc. The grant is for the construction of 3 barangay health stations with birthing facilities benefiting 10,000 residents of Tarangnan in Western Samar, Tinungkaan in North Upi, and Mompong in Dato Odin, Sinsuat, Maguindanao. To receive the grant is its Country Program Manager on Health, Dr. Esther Miranda. Our last grant is for GTFI's legacy projects. These projects are undertaken to perpetuate the legacy of the T family, especially of our late group chairman, Dr. George S.K.T. The organization to receive GTFI's legacy grant is the Immaculate Conception Academy of Manila. The grant is for the construction of the auditorium and multipurpose hall of Immaculate Conception Academy in Gagalangin, Tondo, Manila. To receive GTFI support is its directress and school principal, Sister Alona May Bueno. May I request Mrs. Dibuncio and Mr. Sobrepena to remain on the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the turnover of Metrobank Foundation grants to selected development partners. To lead the turnover are a select group of Metrobank's valued clients whose continued patronage enables us to further our corporate social responsibility programs. May I invite to the platform Dr. Lani G. Ancheta, President, Diliman Doctors Hospital and Director, Manila East Medical Center, and valued client of Metrobank Valencia Hills Branch, to present to our first batch of recipients of Metrobank Foundation grants for health and education programs. We also call Metrobank Vice Chairman Mr. Francis Sebastian to join Mrs. Dibuncio, Mr. Sobrepena, and Dr. Ancheta on the platform. We now call Mrs. Tutsi Angara and Attorney Ajerico Paras, Corporate Secretary, to receive Metrobank Foundation's grant to Natasha Goldborn Foundation. MBFI's grant will support the implementation of the peer facilitators core body system training for the youth, which aims to manage depression and prevent suicide among the youth. The next three projects that will receive MBFI's grants on health involve the provision of clean water and hygiene programs in schools. First of this is the Network of Outstanding Teachers and Educators, Inc., or NOTED. The Foundation's grant will support the Guro, Pulis at Sundalo na may galing, puso at sigasi, GPS Square project in Marawi through the provision of 1,570 hygiene kits to students in 4 temporary learning shelters in Marawi City, Lanao del Sur. To receive the grant is NOTED's President, Professor Josephine Calamlang. Organization for Health is the Regional Mindanao Network Foundation, Inc. The Foundation's grant is for the construction and installation of hand-washing facilities and the installation of a water tank in 5 schools in Zamboanga City, Pagadian City, and Cagayan de Oro City, benefiting 7,648 students. To receive the grant is RMN's Corporate Social Responsibility Manager, Ms. Carmela Cabatuan. Our fourth beneficiary organization to receive MBFI's grant on health is the World Vision Development Foundation, Inc. The Foundation's grant will support the construction and installation of hand-washing facilities in 4 schools in Siayan, Zamboanga del Norte, benefiting 906 students. We call on stage Mr. June Gordones, World Vision's Resource Development Director, to receive our grant. To receive our first grant on education and first time NBFI grantee is with Metrobank Foundation Inc. for the provision of non-tuition support to 13 beneficiaries in Mandaue City in Cebu under Metrobank's Educational Assistance for Children in Need of Special Protection Program. To receive the grant is the organization's Executive Director, Ms. Lolita G. Ganapi. Our second partner organization in education is the Binhi English Literacy Foundation Inc. To receive NBFI's grant for the training and delivery of learning materials of 8, we have its chairperson and president, Ms. Lisa Bayo. Final education partner organization for this batch is the Children of Asia. NBFI's grant is for the provision of non-tuition support covering school uniforms, books, transportation, allowances, and other educational needs for 11 incoming grade 11 students based in the municipality of Alegria in Cebu. To receive the grant is its country director, Mr. Boris Laban. Thank you, Dr. Anjeta, Mrs. Dibuncio, and Mr. Sebastian. May I now request Dr. Maylene Olivares Santos, Director of Our Lady of Fatima University and valued client of Metrobank Marulas, Valenzuela branch, to the platform to lead the awarding of grants to our next batch of education partners. May I also call Metrobank Foundation Trustee and GT Foundation President, Mr. Alfred T. Also Metrobank President and Metrobank Foundation Trustee, Mr. Fabian D. And of course, Mr. Secretary. The fourth organization to receive our education grant is the Hope Worldwide Philippines for the provision of non-tuition financial support for 10 indigent senior high school students from the communities of Baseco, Manila, Payacas, Quezon City, Binyan, Laguna, National Housing Authority relocation site of Cabalawan in Tacloban City, Bagong Buhay, Ormoc City, and Daan Bantayan in Northern Cebu. To receive the grant is its Executive Director, Mr. June Velasco. Our next education grantee is the Philippine Jesuit Prison Service Foundation, Inc. The MBFI grant will support the foundation's program on non-tuition expenses for the education of 10 children of prison inmates. To receive the grant is Father Eli Rowdy Lungo of the Society of Jesus, PJPSF's Executive Director. Our sixth education grant recipient is the Sandiwaan Center for Learning. MBFI's grant will provide support to 30 individuals undergoing the center's Alternative Learning System program, which aims to provide opportunities to out-of-school youths to finish formal education. To receive the grant is Executive Director Father Benigno Beltran of the Society of the Divine Word. The seventh organization to receive our education grant is St. Paul University. Metrobank Foundation is supporting the Hope of Paulinian Education ablaze, a project that aims to support scholarship, faculty research, and community extension of the university. To receive the grant are Attorney Betty Medialdea and Marionette Martinez, Chairman of the Hope Ablaze of St. Paul University, Manila. Eighth education grantee is the Union Church of Manila, Philippines Foundation, Inc. for its graces to ensure secondary and elementary education program benefiting 7 students for 3 years in Metro Manila. Its trustee, Mr. Simeon Laguna, will receive our grant for the foundation. Foundation is our 9th development partner in education. To receive our grant, we provide preparation and non-tuition support to 60 children enrolled in Berlani's Magellan Learning Center. Is its Executive Director, Mr. Thomas Mulya. Foundation to receive Metrobank Foundation's donation. The foundation support will be for the provision of 6 motorized boats and 60 self-paddle boats for Bohol, Camarines Norte, Bantayan, North Cotabato, and Basilan, which will be used by students who do not have access and would need to swim to be able to go to school. Our fourth batch of grantees are organizations implementing livelihood and arts programs. May I request Ms. Myla C. Villanueva, President of MDI Group, National Chairman for PPCRB and valued client of Metrobank Fort Cliff Center, to lead the turning over of MDFI grants to 9 of our arts and livelihood grantees. May I also invite Metrobank Foundation and GT Foundation Chairman, Mr. Arthur T., to join Ms. Villanueva, Mr. D., and Mr. Sobrepena on the platform. Our first 4 grants are for the arts. Our first grant is for the Art Site Circle, led by Dr. Grace Brillantes Evangelista, President and Head Clinical Psychologist. Our grant will support Pahingalayan ng Bayani, a creative retreat for Filipino soldiers wounded in action housed at the Bilona Hospital that seeks to provide the soldiers a safe place and a peaceful respite from stress and anxiety through the use of different art modalities. The second organization to receive our art grant is the Art Studies Foundation Inc. The grant of MBFI will support the publication of the second edition of the Arkitekturang Filipino, a history of architecture and urbanism in the Philippines. Art Studies Foundation board member and author of the book, Architect Gerard Lico, will receive the grant. International Council of Monuments and Sites, or ICOMOS Philippines. The foundation's grant is for the sponsorship of 5 cultural workers to a 5-day course on photogrammetry, facilitated by the Comité International de la Photogrammetrie Architecturale. To receive our grant is its president, Ms. Tina Patero. For Planting Points 2019, the biannual Philippine Museum Summit that brings together 150 museum professionals, cultural workers, and other stakeholders. With this year's theme, Museums for the Future, Connections, Interpretation, and Impact. To receive our grant is Ms. Thea Garing, Head of the Summit Secretariat. Our next 5 organizations are on livelihood. The first livelihood grantee is Caritas Margins. The foundation's grant is for the entrepreneurial skills training of selected communities in NCR and Calabar Zone. as well as product development coaching for its current partner, micro enterprises, and the improvement of some of its current stores and kiosks. To receive our grant is part of our grant is Community Transformation Movement Inc. NBFI's grant aims to help uplift the lives of 200 Aita families and 250 Dumagat families located in Nueva Ecija and Sierra Madre through provision of their basic needs. Father Efren de Guzman, CTM's president, will receive the grant. Of our grant is Metrobank Foundation. NBFI's grant will go to Metrobank's Sustainable Livelihood Development Program for indigenous coffee farmers in Bukidnon. Ms. Rene Araneta Perin, co-founder, New Product Development, will receive the grant on behalf of Metrobank Foundation. Our fourth grantee is for the Metrobank Foundation Inc. or Happinoy. NBFI will support the Samahang Happinoy Business Friends Forever or BFF training program through the creation of a sustained and organized network of peer support groups for 1,000 Happinoy store owners from NCR and Eastern Visayas, particularly Leyte and Samar. Receiving the grant is Happinoy President Mr. Mark Joaquin Ruiz. Finally, the fifth recipient of our livelihood grants is Rags to Riches Inc. The foundation grant will support R2R's Next Generation Artisan Program, covering the training of 60 artisans on embroidery, beadwork, and basic to advanced sewing of bags and clothes. To receive our grant is R2R President Ms. Riz Fernandez Ruiz. Thank you, Ms. Villanueva and Mr. D. May I request Mr. Arthur T. and Mr. Sobrepeña to please remain on the platform. And now, for our last batch of development partners, may I request our guest of honor, Mayor Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso and Mr. Alfred T. to join Mr. Arthur T. and Mr. Sobrepeña. Our first grantee is the World Surgical Foundation. Metrobank Foundation's grant will go to the Foundation's surgical missions, benefiting at least 250 patients who are in need of surgical interventions. Mrs. Joanne Camacho Jokno and WSS Vice President Dr. Enrique Samuel Da Rosa will receive the MBFI grant. Our second grantee is the International Bazaar Foundation. Metrobank Foundation support will go to the International Bazaar Foundation scholarship grants. IBF overall chairperson Mrs. Lourdes Locsin, together with IBF Executive Director Ms. Nora Salazar, will receive the foundation grant. Our third grantee is the DFA Ladies Foundation Inc. Metrobank Foundation will extend continued assistance to the DFA Ladies Foundation Scholarship Program. Receiving the grant on behalf of the organization are its overall chairperson, Mrs. Lourdes Locsin, DFA-LF First Vice President and Scholarship Committee Chair, Mrs. Maria Lourdes Salcedo, and Special Project Committee Chair, Mrs. Helen Grace Wisha. Our fourth grantee is the Duterte Cabinet Spouses Associations Incorporated. Metrobank Foundation is providing support for their various social development projects, which focus on promoting inclusive opportunities for marginalized communities in the aspects of health, education, and social well-being, particularly medical surgical missions in Benguet, and the provision of relief operations for natural and man-made disasters. Receiving the grant are its officers, Attorney Betty Medialdea, Mrs. Mirasol Tugale, Mrs. Manu Lopez, Mrs. Regina Bello, Mrs. Marga Nograles, Mrs. Edith Lorenzana, and Dr. Araceli Panel. The fifth organization to receive Metrobank Foundation grant is the Congressional Spouses Foundation Inc. Our grant will support charity projects of CSFI, such as calamity assistance to various districts, proposed training centers for livelihood projects, and Christmas gift-giving activities to auxiliary staff of Congress. To receive the grant, may I invite CSFI President and Chairperson, Congresswoman Lani C. Cayetano, Mrs. Paula Bondok, Attorney Christine Collantes Garcia, former Congresswoman Queenie Gonzalez, and Mrs. Margie Duarte. the Senate Spouses Foundation Inc. The Metrobank Foundation grant will support SSFI's various programs and projects that address the health and social needs of the elderly and children, the implementation of medical and dental missions, and various gift-giving activities. May I invite Ms. Chara Soto, representing its President, Mrs. Helen Soto, Mrs. Elvira Angara, and Mrs. Audrey Subiri to receive the MBFI grant to SSFI. Red Cross. The GT Foundation grant will support the Red Cross programs and projects on health-related issues, including the intervention for dengue victims. May we invite Senator Richard Gordon, Chairman of the Philippine Red Cross, and Ms. Elizabeth Sabala, Secretary General, to receive the GTFI grant. Mayor Isko and our officers to remain on the platform as we present the Metrobank Foundation donation to the PGH Medical Foundation Inc. The PGH Medical Foundation Inc. is a non-stock, non-profit organization which was conceived to assist the Philippine General Hospital, or PGH, in achieving its noble mission of providing excellent health care for its indigent patients. The PGH, the premier government hospital, serves more than 500,000 patients annually, 98% of whom are indigent. The Metrobank Foundation grant will be used for the purchase of equipment needed by PGH and provision of medical services for the treatment of pediatric cancer patients. To receive the grant are Attorney Arnaldo Carino, PGH-MF Vice President, and Ms. Maria Lourdes de la Rhea, its Executive Director. Thank you, Mr. Arthur T., Mr. Alfred T., Mr. Secretary. And now to deliver his message, ladies and gentlemen, our guests of honor, the Honorable Francisco Isko Moreno Dumagoso, Mayor of the City of Manila.
Maraming salamat po sa tagapagpakilala sa ating pong minamahal na Senador Richard Gordon, sir, sa ating pong Chairman ng Metrobank Arthur T. and his brother Alfred T. to Mrs. T, magandang umaga po sa inyo. At sa ating pong chairman ng foundation also. And lagi namin, President, I guess, I'm sorry. Mr. Aniceto Sobrepeña na lagi namin nakakasama sa mga tumutulong sa Maynila. Marami pong awardee na taga Maynila, and one of those is my classmate in high school, who is a police major. Police yun ng araw. Police pa rin siya hanggang ngayon. Pero bata pa kami, alam kong magiging police na siya. Kasi noong first year high school kami, na sumapi na siya sa MJP, yung Manila Junior Police. Kaya I know for a fact that si Mr. Sobrepeña, kaya madalas siya sa Manila. Ng araw pa, nakikita ko na. To Congressman Lani Cayetano, at 10 ng mga asawa ng mga may bahay ng ating mga congressman, ating mga senador, sa lahat po na bumubuo ng foundation at Metrobank, for that matter, sa lahat po ng mga banyaga, pasensya na kayo, magtudugo ang ilong nyo ngayong gabi. Ngayong araw ito. Dahil pagawa ko nasa kanilang bansa, talaga kong baldi-balding dugo ang lumalabas sa akin sa pagsasalita ng banyaga. I hope you don't mind. I beg your indulgence to our foreign guests. I would love to speak in our native language. That's all, folks. Una, sa mga hindi ko po nabati, pasensya na po kayo. But lahat po kayo ay mahalagang individual sa okasyon na ito. Hindi po kayo inanyayahan na wala lang. Ito, alam natin na ang mga ganitong gawain ay bibihira sa mga malaking kumpanya. Ito po, as far as I remember, I've been in the government for 21 years and I've been here in Metrobank Foundation for 21 years. Nung araw, nag-artista ako, medyo wala naman akong pakialam sa mundo. Siyempre, glitz and glamour. But when I entered into public service in 1998, then I heard Metrobank Foundation. Ganun pala yan. So on and so forth. Kaya ako naman masyadong naive at the time. No? All I want to do is just to participate in local legislative body and to serve its purpose. But through the years, maraming mga ahensya ng gobyerno, mga institusyon ng gobyerno, at pati mga individual na tinutulungan ng Metrobank Foundation. So, in behalf of the people of Manila, na pinulungan po ninyo na sa Pamilya T, maraming salamat po sa kabutihan ng inyong pamilya sa aming mga kababayan sa lungsod ng Maynila. At kayo naman, mga kasapi ng industriya na naghahanap buhay sa Maynila, pumanatag po kayo at may pagsasaayos na ginagawa sa lungsod, sa pamahalaan partikular, among ourselves, no? At sa ating komunidad. At kung kayo naman ay lumisan na sa Maynila sapagkat nawala na kayo ng pag-asa, bumalik na po kayo. Welcome back to Manila, please, because kailangan po namin ng tulong. Kaya nga po, ako po, nung naabisuhan na maging bahagi ng programang ito, hindi po ako nagdalawang isip sapagkat alam ko ngayong araw na ito makapang-hold up ako. Because I've been begging and asking people to help the city of Manila. And fortunately, mukhang pinagpapala kami ng kaunti. Historically, it never happened that the city government was visited by now 12 ambassadors. And there's 3 more coming. So when I asked them, ayoko naman sila patagalin. Kasi pag pinatagal ko yun, talagang mangangayaya to ko. Magiging anemic ko dahil maupusan ako ng dugo. But, they have this fresh outlook of the city of Manila. This is why I've been asked so many times, how can we help? How can we help? How our country can help the city of Manila? So, kaya naging habit ko for the past 2 months, mamalimos. At yung pinagpapalimos ko naman talaga, hindi na para sa akin. Sapagkat ngayon ko lang narinig, at ngayon pong maraming beses ko naririnig, na ultimo yung mga malalaking conglomerate are now having a second look to Manila. That's why to those mga nangawala na ang inyong tiwala sa pamahalaan, I cannot blame you. But I hope, para bang mag-shota ba? Nag-away, please give us second chance. Give us second chance to be better again. To be glorious again. To bring back vibrancy in Manila. We'll do it in our own little way. But we cannot just do it alone. We need each and every one of you. We need your cooperation. We need every kind of help. Even just ikaw lang bilang mamamayan na kayo kapag ito pumupunta sa lungsod ng Maynila, kayo na'y nagkukusa na tumutupad sa aming mga lituntuning pinatutupad. Yun, tulong na yun para sa amin. Because sa ayon sa gusto, maraming mga kilalang tao rito na may kanya-kanyang syudad. Sa ayon sa gusto nila, hindi nila pwedeng agawin ang Kapitolyo ng bansa. True, lubog kami. True, we deteriorated. So what? But still, we are the capital. Now, if we still believe that Manila is the capital, then let's help Manila. Because if it is the capital in our heart and in our mind, then this is the show window of the country. And it is in the best interest of each and every one of you here in Makati to have all those investors who will go to the office of the president and pass by Manila and they'll see chaos. And how these people be convinced by the president. Just along the way, 20 minutes ride or 10 minutes ride, there's anarchy. There's nothing. So, kaya po, mga kasamahan, mga nakikinig po, muli, pagtiwalaan niyo kami ng kaunti. Kunti lang. Tight-tight lang. Pagsasama-samahin natin yan. And we will rearrange everything. Because if Metrobank can do it, helping people, not even their clients, those people are nag-excel sa kanilang mga fields of undertaking. Then, I think, hindi rin kaila. Pinagpapauna ko na sa inyo. Bumulong na po sa akin si Arthur kanina. At sabi niya, kung meron man kaming matutulong sa Maynila, just tell us. So, in advance, thank you very much. Kaya bagay din na dapat sundan ninyo ang inyong pamunuan. Bagay na sundan ninyo ang inyong kapartner. No? Kaya po sa inyong lahat dito, mga kababayan, sa mga awardees, no? Mga binigyan ng tulong, pagbutihin nyo naman po. Sabi nga, let your light shine for the greater glory of God. Kung tama ko yung English ko na yun. But I think, yung pagmamalasakit sa kapwa kapag kaumiral sa atin, hindi tayo magkakamali sa anumang mga layunin natin sa buhay. Kayo ay kinilala, mga organisasyon at individual, dala ng angking ninyong kagalingan at pagmamahal sa kapwa. Kaya po sana magpatuloy yan at sana mabasa kayo ng ulan. nang dumami kayo. Di ba noong 1980s merong gremlins, no? Pag bumabasa, dumarami. O, ganito dapat ang dumarami ang mga mabubuting tao na nagmamalasakit sa kanyang kapwa. At sana rin magpatuloy sa mahaba pang panahon ang Metrobank Foundation sa kanyang layunin na kilalanin ang mga individual at organisasyon o pamahalaan o profesional na magagaling na individual. Ngayon po, mga kababayan, bilang panghuli at sana'y sabi nila, ng mga scientifico, ang naalala daw ng mga taong nakikinig ay ang unang salita at ang huling at dulong salita. Babalik po ako. Tulungan niyo po kami sa Lungsod ng Manila. Mga kababayan, I cannot guarantee you tomorrow. And in this room, in this hall, nobody will. Nobody can guarantee you what's going to happen tomorrow. Only God knows. So if I cannot guarantee you a better Manila, at the very least that I can guarantee you, Manila today and the next day, next week, next month will be different. At the very least, in our own little way. Now, we really wanted to move and bring back the glorious days of Manila. Even Senator Gordon will agree that it is the Paris of the East, the Pearl of the Orient. Dahil medyo parang tatay ko na po si Senator Gordon. Nung panahon nila, yun ang tawag sa Maynila. Kaya po, kung kayo'y patuloy sa puso ninyo, maaaring nakaligtaan ninyo ng konti sa inyong isipan. Pero hindi yan mawawala sa puso ninyo. And one way or another, you have a history to tell, a story to tell from Manila. You're part of the city of Manila. Now, if we are into it, we cannot do it among ourselves with 11,000 employees of the city of Manila. We cannot do it alone. Kaya po, let me take this opportunity. Pagpasensyahan na ako. Buong kababaang loob po, nakikisuyo ako sa inyo. Tulungan niyo po kami sa Maynila. Tulong-tulong tayong itaguyod muli ang ating Kapitolyo ng bansa. Muli, habang bumubuo ang Metrobank Foundation, kawani, kasapi, maraming salamat sa pagtulong ninyo sa aming mga kababayan sa lungsod ng Moreno. Maraming salamat sa pagkakataon na ginawa niyo kaming tulay sa mga taong gusto ninyong tulungan. Nawa, palain rin ang pong may kapa. Manila, God first. Thank you.
Your message is a fitting cap to this year's Metrobank Anniversary Grants Turnover Ceremonies. Metrobank Foundation, GT Foundation, and the Metrobank Group will continue to be your active partners in ensuring a more active and healthier Manila.
Bibigyan naman ako sa request. Kailangan mo kontak sa Thank you.
Before we formally conclude our program, we will be having our group photo opportunity with our guests of honor, Board of Trustees and Advisors, client presenters, and partner organizations. For an orderly arrangement, kindly wait for us to call your table numbers. Our ushers will also be guiding you. May we first request all our guests from table numbers 5 and 6 to come up to stage. 6 to come up the stage and stand behind the second row of seats. Now, may we request one representative per organization from the following tables to come up the stage. Table numbers 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, and 16. Again, one representative per organization from the following tables to come up on the stage. Table numbers 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14, 15, and 16. Next, may we ask all of our guests seated in tables 2 and 3. Table numbers 2 and 3 to take the seats here on stage. Table 2 on the seats on the left side, and table 3 on the seats on the right side. May I repeat? We ask all of our guests seated in table numbers 2 and 3 to take the seats. Table 2 on the seats on the left side, and table 3 on the seats on the right side. Finally, may we request our guests from table number 1 and our client presenters to take the seats on the platform. you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to a close this year's anniversary grants turnover ceremonies. On behalf of the officers and staff of Metrobank Foundation and GT Foundation, I sincerely thank all of you, our esteemed development partners and valued clients who took time out to be with us in this momentous occasion to celebrate Metrobank's 57th anniversary. May I call your attention to the panel designs in the auditorium today. These are our outstanding Filipinos, teachers, policemen, and soldiers who will be conferred their awards tonight. Please join us for lunch here in the auditorium. The coffee we are serving today is from Hinaluman Foundation. This is produced by indigenous coffee farmers in Bukidnon. You may buy their coffee and other products produced by their partner communities at their stall outside the auditorium. Caritas Margins also has a stall stationed outside. They are selling products by their partner micro enterprises from all over the country. Revenues of Caritas Margins go to supporting their partner communities and the scholarship program of Caritas Manila. Lastly, we also have a stall for Rags to Riches, our social enterprise partner selling bags and other products made by our nanams from Payatas and other communities. Again, thank you very much and good afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. For tables 1, 2, 5, 3, 5, 6,